Welcome. In this video, I'm gonna answer the question, hey, when should I use which algorithm for sentence embedding? It heavily depends, of course, on the problem you want to solve. Is it that you want to find some information in a huge set of documents where the lexical search yields no results? Do you want to find topological or thematic clusters within the huge set of document based on a sentence level? And if you have seen Semantic Textual Similarity, STS, which method should you use and which pre-trained model from BERT or SBERT should you use? And you will find explanation like, with Semantic Textual Similarity, there's a brute force and it has a quadratic complexity. And for long lists of sentences, it might be unfeasible. What is a long list of sentences? What are the threshold? 100 sentences, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000? I want to answer some of your questions today. Of course, main reference is www.sbert.net, and I'm going to focus on pre-trained model, which are ready to go. Therefore, since we're real-time coding, we're gonna start just here another time the proceedings, Ramos 2019 sentence BERT, archive reference. And you know that the pre-trained models we have today, it's now starting June 2021. We have this beautiful summary here where you see the sentence embedding models, different models that are already pre-trained, and their performance for STS, for duplex question, for scientific documents, for clustering tasks, an average performance, and the speed. Of course, when you look at this, maybe it is already out of date, so a good idea is always to check out the link with the pre-trained model. And if you go there, you see immediately here that maybe there are some new models here that have been published. And if you have a specific task, like for example here, STS benchmark test set, or you want to have some clustering, you can sort here all the model according to your specific task to clustering, and you see here the 3 best performing models. Interesting is here speed. Speed, the higher is better. The unit is here sentences per second. And you have, of course, an average performance to an average speed, sentences per second on a V100 GPU. And if you have a time-critical task, of course, speed will be of utmost importance to you. So let's start with the task. The task at hand is first semantic textual similarity. And I showed you already in my last video that it is quite simple to do this. You have a sentence transformer. Now you load a specific model. And here I load a Paraphrase Mini LML12 model. You see it here. It is the third best model here. If I have an average performance listing, I have 2 sets of sentences, and I calculate the cosine PyTorch, the cosine similarity of the sentence embedding in a vector space. Of course, it can be a different task. It can be a clustering task that you're interested in. And to show you here a simple example, and we have here the double questions, here the quar text from clustering. We load here, we have a model encode sentence, and then we just have a utility that comes with SentenceTransformers, utility.community detection. You have the corpus of embeddings and you have 2 parameters to tune, the minimum community size and a threshold. Above this threshold, you will get the results listed. And if you do the calculation, it's gonna take a while. 1 minute. Okay, 59 seconds. Come on. You will get a result for clustering. And remember here, if you ask which sentence transformer pre-trained model we choose, I've chosen this model. If you choose another model, maybe a model that will be newer the time you watch this video, you will get, of course, better results. Now, semantic textual versus paraphrase mining. What exactly is the difference? Paraphrase mining is the task of finding paraphrases. This means text with identical or similar meaning in a large corpus of sentences. Since the algorithm has a quadratic runtime, it fails to scale to larger than 10,000 sentences. So for larger collection than 10,000 sentences, the utility function offers the paraphrase mining function. And for this specific task of more than 10,000 sentences, we have also some pre-trained models for the sentence embedding. The first here is the Paraphrase Mini, Paraphrase Distill Roberta, Distill Roberta version 1, and then you have some XLR multilingual, of course, but let's stay for the purpose of this video with monolingual. So the code is pretty similar. Let's run the code in real time. So you have some sentences. You have still BERT base, sentence transformer preloaded. Then you have simply utility. Utility come from the sentence transformer. The paraphrase mining takes the model, the sentences. You can have also chunk up the corpuses in specific sizes, and you get the number of returns. And the result is simple. If you look at the sentences, which sentences are similar? The cat sits outside, the cat plays in the garden. You would think that these two sentences are quite similar. The cat sits outside, the cat plays in the garden. The new move is awesome, the new move is so great. Where we have it, the new move is awesome, the new move is so great. Perfect. I love pasta. The new move is so great. Now, this does not seem to be the right answer, and you see the score is 0.26 compared to 0.98 and 0.62. So this is not really what we are looking for. Now, if you now choose a later model, maybe even a better trained model, and you have the same set of sentences, and you start again, the new move is awesome, the cat sits outside and plays in the garden, and then you say, I love pasta. And the correct answer, of course, is, do you like pizza, with a score from 0.5. And you see here, I love pasta. The new movie is so great with 0.2. And now with a better model here, we achieve the result that we are looking for. I love pasta, and the similar sentence is, do you like pizza, with a score from 0.5. So you see, it heavily depends on the pre-trained sentence embedding model that you are using. And this model is available on HuggingFace. So now you know STS for sentences lower 10,000 sentences. If you have a set of documents or of sentences larger than 10,000 sentences, let's go with the pre-trained model and use utility paraphrase mining for the model. Then there are some specific question-answer retrievals, MS marker, and some natural question-answer retrievals. Now, the body of text where the dataset has been pre-trained is different. For MS marker, you have 500,000 real queries from Bingo search, so it's something that happened in the past. And here you have the natural questions, 100,000 real questions from Google search together with the relevant passages from Wikipedia. Now that's interesting. To show you the code here, well, first the model, MS Marker, you have some models that are trained particularly for the similarity function. We have here cosine similarity. This is the model you should use. If you have a dot product, a normalized vector space, you can go with this version 3. Wow, okay. And general models tuned for cosine similarity will prefer the retrieval of short documents, while models tuned for the dot product, of course, will prefer the retrieval of longer documents. And to show you the execution of this code, and you see it's quite simple. You have the sentence transformer, you load your pre-trained sentence embedding model, you encode the first sentence, you encode the second sentence, and you have the similarity, and here the similarity, how big is London? London has 9 million inhabitants, is 0.6. Same you can do, of course, on Google's natural question dataset. The model that is recommended here is the NQ distilled base version 1, okay? And the code here, just execute the code that you see, it's quite easy. Same now, you have the encoding function a little bit different. You have title 1, text 1. So here we have a list of London, and London has 10 million inhabitants. And you use, of course, the PyTorch cosine similarity, and you have the result that's depicted here. So this is, if you want to say, for specific question answer retrievals, you have two, if you want to say, data sets benchmarked that are optimized exactly for those data sets. I just want to remind you from the last videos, I showed you the symmetric versus the asymmetric semantic search. For the symmetric semantic search, we had that the queries and the entries in the text are about the same length and have about the same amount of content, whatever this means in particular. If you have a BERT model with word pieces, and the models are trained for symmetric semantic search, the Paraphrase distilled base version 1, the query distilled base, and here another model for asymmetric semantic search. You have a short query, how is the weather in, and a longer paragraph answering this query. And the model is specially trained for this, or for example, MS Marco distilled base version 2. Now, if you increase the complexity of all this information retrieval, you have now open up with the version 1.2. I find here this complex semantic search scenario where you have a bi encoder for the retrieval and a cross encoder for the re-ranking to filter out the noise from the semantic search. This is beyond the scope of these videos, but if you want to check out a Google Colab Python notebook, I have here the reference, retrieve, re-rank, simple Wikipedia. You can run it, and it's really fascinating to see what you can do here with those more complex semantic search scenarios. This is it for today. This was a short overview of the impact. If you have a specific task, be sure that you choose the right instrument with the right pre-trained sentence embedding model. It has to be the right size. If you have less than 10,000 sentences, no problem at all. If you have more than 10,000 sentences, the complexity will increase. And if you have millions of entries, check out the new retrieve and re-rank methodology for a complex semantic search scenario. Thank you.